Blake Espinal back out for another inning here for the Mariners as we head on to the home half of the fourth. Harwich trailing it right now, 1-5. Hyannis looking for their first win of the year, and they might get it the way things are going here. A pretty good sizable 4-run lead. Harwich bats have some work to do, Colin.
Yeah, that third inning was pretty impressive for Hyannis, picking up 3 straight hits to lead off the inning. And then some sacrifice work from Hunter Goodman and Mitch McIntyre, a sac fly from Goodman, and then a sacrifice bunt, bringing home 2 more insurance runs to put them ahead 5-1. And they're getting some great pitching out of Sam Thorson.
So coming up to try to start things off here will be Bryce Teodosio. First time he'll face Blake Espinal. Espinal's first pitch is going to miss inside for ball 1. So Espinal came in trying to close things out in the third inning, and so far the only hitter he's faced was Jackson Olsen. He retired him via the strikeout to end the inning. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. And it'll even the count up here at 1-1. Teodosio missing on the fastball inside. Interesting thing of note on Blake Espinal, just the one pitch. One of the few fastball only pitchers, as this one has a little late tailing action down, but he'll miss low. But I'll tell you what, if you can locate a fastball exactly where you want it on every single pitch, you almost don't need anything else if it's good enough. Espinal ready with the 2-1. Here it is. That one will be skied high in the air. Hurtubise makes the play out there in center field, taking about 8 steps to his right, and puts it away for out number 1.
Yeah, definitely a much-needed first out on the first batter for the Mariners after giving up 3 straight base runners to lead off the third.
So we will see what Espinal has in store here as he heads to the top part of the order. It'll be Anthony Servideo, Nick Lofton, and Trevor Hauber coming up with one away here. Harbor Hawks looking for a few more runs here in their half of the fourth. First pitch is going to be just low for ball 1 to Nick Lofton.
Servideo lined out to center in the first, struck out swinging in the second.
Here comes the pitch from Espinal. Low fastball. This time it'll catch the zone, and the count is 1-1. Espinal back to work here. 1-1 pitch. And that is going to go off the elbow and hard of Anthony Servideo. And fortunately, you saw it looked like an elbow pad there that kind of clanked off of, and he'll collect his base. That's why you wear the armor, I guess. Runner on base with nobody out, or with one away.
And although that one, of course, not feeling too good for Servideo, it does put the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in a great spot to do some more damage. They are 5 for 6 today, with 4 of the team's 5 runs scored.
So a big opportunity coming up here for the middle of the order, as you meant, or the top of the order, with 1 out. Harbor Hawk fans have long awaited to see a win for their team, as they enter this one 0-8-1. Even in a 9-run effort, all they could do was tie with Falmouth. Espinal's pitch is a fastball in there for strike 1. I think we mentioned it, but back out there in the dugout for the Harbor Hawks of Hyannis is Chad Gassman, who was ejected from game 1, but he is allowed to come back in game 2, as this one will be thrown over to first base by Espinal, trying to keep the runner close. So his coaching services much needed, and they're back out there for Hyannis.
Yeah, I'm sure that was a fun meeting with the umpires before game 2. Wonder what was talked about between him and Englert.
Runner goes, and that'll bounce off the chest plate of Pat Winkle. He's taking third. Winkle comes up, and there won't be a throw. So going from first to third is Anthony Servideo. And that is a tough, tough break for the Harwich Mariners. It's now another insurance run just 90 feet away.
Well, let's see what they do with the infield here with 1 away. And in they come.
Yep, so trying to prevent another run here. Harwich, again, typically winning low-scoring games. The 7-2 victory earlier today, the most runs that they've scored in a Mariner victory. Here comes the pitch from Espinal. That one's going to be crushed down the left field line. It is hooking, and it is gone. 2-run home run for Nick Lofton, and it's a 7-1 lead for the Harbor Hawks.
Yeah, I mean, that ball kind of just snuck over the fence, but the way it came off the bat, you almost had to figure that that ball was going to get out of here. And luckily for Lofton, it was able to stay fair, tucked just over the 324 sign right down the left field line.
We talked about it. It's a hitter's ballpark, and that's finally played in here. It's been a high-scoring game for both teams and more home runs than we're used to seeing throughout these couple of games. So Trevor Hopper will dig back in. He's already got an RBI double and a run scored in the third. Other than that, a fly out back in the first.
That's a second home run surrendered by Espinal this season.
Check swing, and that'll miss out of the zone. So, yeah, Espinal trying to keep the traction here.
I believe it was Araj Anu who hit the other one for Katuitt.
Espinal will miss low and inside with that one. Yeah, in his one appearance, 2 1/3 innings pitched. Gave up 2 runs, both of them earned, one of them off of Araj Anu.
Yeah, it was actually a 2-run shot, so both runs coming in. Mason Dodd, the other runner on base.
4 strikeouts to 1 walk as well, and he surrenders another here. Here comes the pitch, and that one will be lifted high in the air. Settling under it is Daniel Cabrera out and right, and he'll make the catch, taking a step to his left for out number 2. That will bring up Brooks Carlson. 2 for 2 today, an RBI single back in the first, a double and a run scored back in the third. He has been tearing it up right now. One of the only guys who has not hit at any point today is standing on deck in Hunter Goodman. Espinal trying to get out of the inning. 2 outs here. Here comes the pitch, and that'll miss up in the zone for ball 1.
Carlson, like Lofton, having a phenomenal second game with 2 hits, one of them a double, and he ended up coming around to score on that double back in the third.
Here comes the pitch. Big swing and a miss, as that one will be cut through. And I don't know if it's an eagle screech. Apparently it's a Harbor Hawk, but they are playing it after every run comes across to score. And I'm not sure what a Harbor Hawk sounds like, but that's not what I'd imagine it to be, as this one is taken a short, picked up by Fedco, throw to first is in time, and that'll end the inning. So the Harbor Hawks scored twice courtesy of a Nick Lofton 2-run home run. They lead it 7-1 when we come back. It'll be the 5th inning of play. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Radio Network. Welcome back to McKeon Park. Tyler Henry alongside Colin Casey. And Colin, the door is open. A final pass along to you. Brewster falls to Katuitt by a final score of 6-2 in Game 2 of that one. So they fall to 6-5-1 on the year. Of course, Chatham and Bourne will be taking place later tonight. But once again, if Harwich can come back and win this game, they can jump into first place pending that last total. They've got a lot of work to do here, down by 6.
Yeah, big opportunity for not just the Mariners, but also Chatham if they want to jump ahead here, as first pitch will miss outside. But obviously not the start of this game that the Mariners were expecting, falling well behind 7-1 and running out of time, it being only a 7-inning game.
One other game going on right now between Falmouth and YD. That game is 3-1 in favor of the Red Sox of the Yarmouth Venice, as that one is fouled away. So it's a 1-1 count here on Cam Thompson. Thompson 0 for 1 today. That Bourne and Chatham game scheduled for a 7 o'clock start time at Memorial Park. This one is going to be lifted by Cam Thompson into left field, taking about 4 steps back and making the catch there. Out in left is Trevor Hobber. One away.
Yeah, not a whole lot of power behind that swing by Thompson. It seemed like he just wasn't able to generate that opposite field power. But a pretty well hit ball, but not having to move very far was the left fielder. However,
So that'll bring up Jacob Hurtubise, who was hit by a pitch in his debut at bat. He'll foul one back to the screen here to start his second AB of the year. Stole second, balked to third, came around to score the only Mariner run of the game. Hyannis has scored in every single inning so far. 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 3 in the third, and 2 in the fourth. Is squaring around a bunt and pulling it back as Hurtubise in the infield corners will come in here. It's a 1-1 count. The center fielder out of the University of Army at West Point will chop this one foul off his leg.
Thorson actually a temporary player, but you know, if he keeps pitching like this, he might be able to keep his stay with the Hyannis Harborhawks a little bit longer.
Certainly could. Hurtubise facing him right now, only 6'1", 190. Here comes the 1-2. And a big sweeping breaking ball that just misses. May have caught the strike zone of anybody else in the lineup, but Hurtubise able to keep it up above the letters. And it's a 2-2 count.
And there was that mid-70s curve from Thorson.
Here comes the 2-2 pitch. It's a fastball, and Hurtubise will foul that one away.
Not a whole lot of overpowering stuff from Thorson, but it's the movement and the deception that has made him really strong through the first 4+ innings of this one.
So we'll see what he's got in store here for Hurtubise with the 2-2. Here's the pitch, and that one will be swung on and missed. Jacob Hurtubise down on strikes. We head back to the top of the order. It'll be Joey Weimer to lead things off here.
That's the 6th strikeout for Thorson, as 3 of them actually coming in the first inning, so he spread out the other ones equally over the last almost 4 innings.
Well, and how about that, too, as he is able to go so far. It looks like he'll go the full 5. Breaking ball will just catch the inside edge and make it an 0-1 count on Joey Weimer, who today is 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out, but the ground out bringing in a run. The only run of the day. Here's the 0-1. Weimer will watch that one on the inside part. And it's an 0-2 count here as he's fallen behind.
Yeah, Weimer with the lone RBI in Game 2 for Harwich on a ground out to second.
Long look here for Samuel Thorson, the windup and the pitch. Thinking about that, but not pulling the trigger, is Joey Weimer to fastball upstairs. And the count to 1-2. Big tall stance for Joey Weimer. Here comes the 1-2. He golfs at a pitch in the dirt, taking off for first, but he'll be thrown out. And that'll be another strikeout on the books for Samuel Thorson. We go to the home half of the 5th. Still a 7-1 lead for the Harborhawks. When we come back, you're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Radio Network. Another inning coming up here for the Hyannis Bats. They have so far not failed to score a run in any of their innings offensively. Up 7-1 here on the Harwich Mariners, and looking to extend that here as they will go 6, 7, 8. It'll be Hunter Goodman, Mitch McIntyre, and Chad McDaniel.
Now I know 0-8-1 is a tough hole to dig yourself out of, but maybe Hyannis can pull a Brewster and start going on a win streak and really put themselves back in position to make the playoffs.
Espinal's first pitch will miss up and in. They certainly could, and the only team they really have to catch to make the playoffs is Bourne, who is not doing themselves any favors right now. Another loss today puts them at 3 and 5, and they've got another one with Chatham, who currently sits at the top of the East. This one is going to be laced down the left field line, but foul by a good 1.5 feet, and the count is even at 1-1. The book closed on Shaver an inning ago. He went 2 2/3, 7 hits, 5 runs, all of them earned, 2 strikeouts to 1 walk. Espinal ready with the 1-1, and that will be in there on the outer half of the plate for strike 2.
Mariners with 6 wins on the season, all of them coming against Western teams. They're looking to try to make it 7, but they'll have to come back as there is a swinging strike 3.
Yep, Hunter Goodman down on strikes, and the hitless streak continues today, but hasn't really mattered in the context of what his team has been able to do. As Mitch McIntyre will come to the dish, 8 hits so far for the Harbor Hawks. They also benefited from a Mariner error. So for McIntyre today, he is 1 for 1, a base hit, laid down a safety/suicide squeeze back in the 3rd and drove in a run. Here he fouls one back to the screen. It's an 0-1 count for him against Blake Espinal. Espinal is ready to go. Still pitching out of the stretch. Here comes his 0-1 pitch, and that'll miss low and away to even the count at 1-1.
All sorts of horns going off just beyond the tree line in the outfield. It's like a transportation hub here in Hyannis with both boats and airplanes.
Certainly an interesting place as this one misses low.
Trains as well.
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
That was the first thing that came to my mind.
Espinal ready with the 2-1 pitch. Here it comes, and this one will be skied high in the air. Winkle chasing it over, also giving chase and making the catch is Nico Cavadas, and he'll squeeze that for out number 2. So with 2 away, that'll bring up Chad McDaniel, who today is 0 for 1, a strikeout and a walk. And Colin, back to the point of Chad Gassman getting tossed back in the 1st inning. A source that I will not name told me that it's not the first time that that's happened at any point during the past couple of seasons. Said last year in a game against Orleans as this one is fouled away. Said Gassman got tossed and went and found a bucket of baseballs in the dugout and started throwing them onto the field one by one. This continued for some time as his was already gone, and just some antics there. So one of the more quieter ejections for Gassman this year. As this one bounces in the dirt for ball 1.
Channeling his inner Lou Piniella.
Pretty much.
Although I believe the all-time leader for most ejections belongs to Bobby Cox, the longtime Atlanta Braves manager.
Certainly sounds right. Espinal with the 1-1 pitch. That one will be taken into center field and deep, tracking it back all the way to the wall and making the catch just at the edge of it is Jacob Hurtubise for out number 3. So the inning is over. We head to the 6th. Harwich needing to get some runs and needing to do it in a hurry. They trail by 6 with 2 innings to play here in the doubleheader. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Radio Network. Back to baseball here at McKeon Park. Tyler Henry alongside Colin Casey. I'd like to remind you that today's game is brought to you by Cape Cod Healthcare. What's donated here stays here. All blood that is donated to your Cape Cod Healthcare stays on Cape Cod and helps the lives of your friends, family, and neighbors. Learn more about donating blood, platelets, or hosting a blood drive at capecodhealth.org/blood center. Calling a new pitcher into the game here for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks as we head on to the 6th inning of play.
Yeah, it's going to be the right-hander Nolan Crisp out of the University of Florida. He's a rising sophomore from Gainesville. In 2019, he had 21 appearances, 6 of them starts, a 4-4 record with a 6.41 earned run average. Walked the same amount of guys he struck out at 21, and opponents hit 255 against him. And he's got a low 90s fastball, a changeup down in the low 80s, so a pretty big difference between his fastball and his off-speed. He's also got a low 80s slider as well.
Yep, so a guy that's going to mix pitches, going to mix speeds, and we'll see what he's got in store as he will be greeted by the top of the order here for Harwich. It'll be 2, 3, and 4, Fedko, Cabrera, and Cavadas. We'll see if they can hit off somebody else's. Samuel Thorson pitched an absolute gem through the first 5.
Crisp had 12 scoreless appearances his freshman year with Florida. He ranked 10th in the SEC in saves, but he also led all freshman relievers in that department in the conference. He actually started his Gators career with 6 scoreless innings in his first 5 appearances, so a strong start in the season. Let's see if he can pitch a scoreless 6th inning, and he will be greeted by the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Harwich Mariners, and they'll start with Christian Fedko, the second baseman. Fedko 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts swinging. He's back in the lineup after having game 1 off. So the UConn Husky digs in, and the first pitch from Crisp is on the, no pitch. And the umpire saying something to Crisp, I guess, about him not being ready or something.
Yep,
and here we go.
Here we go, yep. Gaspin wants to have a word with home plate umpire Merzel. And we'll see where this goes. This can get very entertaining very quickly. Merzel's already been tossed once in this game.
And so now he's going to go to the mound. And let's see, this actually might be the pitching coach. I don't know if that's exactly the manager here, but he's having some words. And now he's going to go out to the mound and have a mound visit after one unofficial pitch thrown. Very strange stuff.
Yeah, not typically what you see, and this is the opposite of what we saw when Gaspin got tossed earlier in this game. He went out to have a mound visit and stopped to have a word with the umpire on the way back, which eventually led to him being canned from the game. So all that will still bring us back here. Still no official pitch in the inning, and Christian Fedko digging in here with nobody out.
Yeah, tough to tell what that discussion exactly was about, but much more civil than the one we saw in the first inning of last game. Again, that's not saying a lot. Now the first pitch from Chris, basically the same spot as the unofficial one on the inside corner for a strike. And so the count is actually 1-1, so they might have ruled that a ball, as in maybe he quick pitched him something illegal, which is strange. So now it's a 1-2 count.
Yeah, and really quickly, the book closes on Samuel Thorson. 5 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts to 2 walks, 1 hit, 1 run. It was earned.
An impressive start for Thorson. And a slider will just miss, 2-2. The 2-2. That'll be chopped foul off to the left.
Yep, so just trying to get something going here in the later part of this one is Christian Fedko. We mentioned had been tearing it up coming into the series. Did a pretty good job in game 1, but right now a little bit slower.
These two teams will play 2 more games at White House Field in Harwich as Fedko stays alive with a foul to the backstop.
Actually, Fedko not in the lineup for that first game just a little while ago, so Still riding his hot streak into this game, and hopefully this isn't the one where it slows down and comes to a halt.
The 2-2 from Crisp. That's in the dirt. Works the count full. So the Mariners with 2 innings to get back into this one, trailing by 6. Only 7-inning game due to the doubleheader. In case you're just joining us, Mariners taking the first game as that pitch is popped up foul, and it will stay in play, and the catch is made behind or right next to the backstop, and that's a nice catch made by Chad McDaniel, one away.
Well, the curve of that ball actually spun it to where it kind of came back into play. It would have drifted out if it had just been flat, but the spin taking it back on the right side of the net, and a good job hanging with it, as you mentioned, by Chad McDaniel and squeezing it for out number 1.
So it's a P2 for Fedco. And Daniel Cabrera digs in, lays off the first pitch low. Cabrera had a monster game in game number 1 as he slices a ball foul off to the left. Much quieter in this one, though. He struck out swinging in the first and walked and was actually thrown out between second and third in the fourth. 1-1. Just misses the outside corner.
Yep, and right now trying to just kind of maintain that heat. But it's been tough here.
And a ground ball towards the right side, fielded cleanly and thrown onto first by Servideo, 2 away.
And that'll bring up Nico Cavadas, who had a monster game, both in game 1 of this one and also in the game against Catuit yesterday. But so far in this game, like everybody else, he has struggled. A couple of fly balls to center field, one of which got pretty deep, but stayed in the ballpark.
So the left-handed bat of Cavadas facing the righty of Crisp. And Nolan Crisp's first pitch misses low. Just 1 run on 1 hit so far for the Mariners. That hit belongs to Mike Ludwig. And the 1-0 is just inside.
Yep, Ludwig, the last man on the lineup to get a hit back in game 1. First one to get a hit, and so far the only one here in game 2.
2-0 foul tipped into the mitt. Cavadas just barely getting a piece of that one. Crisp from the windup, the 2-1. That one catches the outside corner to even the count at 2-2.
And a very crisp, very kind of jerky windup here for Nolan Crisp.
Was the pun intended?
It actually was not.
The 2-2 fouled off to the right off the catcher. Someone might be loosening right now in the Mariners bullpen. We'll see if we got another new pitcher for the home half of the 6th. As Cavadas steps into one and hits it in the air deep to right field. That ball's carrying, and a leaping catch at the wall. What a play by Teodosio, crashing into the wall and robbing Cavadas of what looked like extra bases, and that will end the inning. So we're through 6.5 here from Hyannis, and the Harbor Hawks are an inning and a half away from their first victory of the season. They lead 7-1 over the Mariners. You're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Mariners Radio Network. New pitcher for the Harwich Mariners. It's going to be the left-hander Jared Weatherby out of Elon University.
So far, a pretty good campaign for Jared Weatherby. Just one appearance, one inning, but he got it done very effectively. 3 up, 3 down, a strikeout. Didn't give up a run. Trying to continue that success here, but his team is trailing by 6.
Weatherby actually was warming up late in yesterday's game against Katuitt in case things went south. But instead, Nick Stewart was able to get the 3-inning save. So with the home half of the 6th due up, it'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitter, so Jackson Olsen will lead things off for Hyannis.
Yep, Olsen so far today 0 for 2. Not a member of Game 1, but again, his team doing well enough around him that it hasn't really mattered. Bottom third of the order has struggled a little bit so far in this game, but the top 6 guys have been just absolutely tearing through the Harwich pitching.
So Olsen 0 for 2 with a pop out and a strikeout. Lefty against lefty. The first pitch to him is fouled straight back. And Olsen from the University of Hartford. Of course, Jeff Bagwell, well-known Hall of Fame first baseman that went there. And there's basically a shrine for him somewhere in the campus for University of Hartford. I don't really blame him, as that's in there for strike 2. 449 career home runs. Weatherby with the 0-2. That'll miss up and away for ball 1. Last inning was actually the only inning so far that the Harbor Hawks have not scored in this contest, scoring in each of the first 4. And the 1-2 is chopped up the middle. It's going to be a tough play by Thompson, and he bobbles it. And into first safely is Olsen. Leadoff man is on.
Yep, and we've seen that a time or two today, the leadoff man finding their way on board. So Jackson Olsen represents yet another run here early on in this one. We'll see how they rule that one. So we wait for them to make the call on that, but looks like they're going to give him a hit. I believe I saw that go from 7 to 8.
So, yep, they will give it a hit. So a leadoff single for Jackson Olsen. And Bryce Teodosio will stand in. Swings and misses the first pitch.
Yeah, Teodosio had an incredible catch to take a home run away from Nico Cavadas out there in center field. Maybe the play of the season I think that we've seen.
And he has served as the best defensive outfielder for Clemson, so I'm sure not too much of a surprise for these Hyannis fans, and especially the guys who have followed him at Clemson, as that pitch will miss to even the count.
So a runner on base. We'll see whether they get a little aggressive here with Jackson Olsen, as they have with several other runners today.
1-1 is hit towards the right field line, and it'll get out of play. Count is 1-2 to Teodosio, who actually missed a decent amount of the 2018 season. At least the summer of 2018 he missed due to a broken collarbone in early May of 2018. But he's back and healthy and doing a great job manning center field for the Harbor Hawks. The 1-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3, and Teodosio strikes out swinging 1 away now in the home half of the 6th.
Yeah, it's not an easy injury to come back from. The collarbone is one that can really just kind of nags you. A lot of guys say they just never really feel the same again afterwards. But 1 away here, and that'll take us back to the top of the order. It'll be Anthony Servideo for a fourth time today.
Yeah, he is 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch and a run scored. That coming in the 4th. He came around on the Nick Lofton 2-run home run as first pitch misses up and away. Lofton on deck, and he's 3 for 3 with 3 runs scored, a home run, and 2 RBIs. And a stolen base.
Not a bad day.
Not at all. 1-0 from Weatherby. That one's in there.
Yep, Weatherby working quickly here, giving up just his first hit of the season. Trying to avoid anything more, though, as he'll have the toughest part of the Harbor Hawk order.
Long look over at first by Weatherby. Now he comes home, and he's going to miss low with a curveball. 2-1. Once again, if you're just joining us, the Harbor Hawks leading 7-1 over the Harwich Mariners in pursuit of their first victory of the 2019 CCBL season. 2-1 is a pretty strong fastball in the inside corner. And that one ties Teodosio up in knots, 2-2. Or Servideo, I should say. Olsen, the runner on first, the 2-2. Swing and a miss for strike three. That's back-to-back strikeouts for Weatherby after giving up the leadoff single. And with two away, it'll be Nick Lofton looking to continue his stellar day.
And not only is he, you mentioned, 3 for 3 with 2 home runs and a couple of base hits, but just an hour ago, he was one of the few guys with a good outing in a 7-2 loss for the Harbor Hawks. He goes 2 for 7 with a run scored, or 2 for 4 with a run scored in that one.
So the shortstop digs in, and the first pitch he sees is in the dirt, and Winkle able to keep it in front of him for ball one.
Looked like Weatherby had to kind of drop his glove there to save that one from going into center field, as the return throw from Winkle wasn't very good.
Weatherby with the 1-0, and that one is popped up high in the infield. Winkle trying to fight through to make the play, but it's actually going to be Weatherby to call it off. Makes the catch, and that will end the 6th inning. So, through 6, Mariners with their last ups, they trail 7-1 here in Hyannis. You've been listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Mariners Radio Network.
Back here at McKeon Park, Tyler Henry alongside Colin Casey. I'd like to remind you that today's game is brought to you by Milton Cat. For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit MiltonCat.com, your area cat dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a sponsor of today's game.
So we head to the away half of the final inning in this one, the 7th inning, at least in regulation. And the Harwich Mariners trail 7-1 against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. And leading things off for the Mariners is going to be Bobby Seymour. It's 5, 6, and 7 hitters who have combined to reach base 3 times in 6 plate appearances. Seymour reaching base twice, once on a walk and another time on an error. And the first pitch he sees just misses as Nolan Crisp out for his 2nd inning of work. Crisp with the 1-2-3 6th. And Seymour hits this ball well down the right field line, and it's going to get down and go all the way to the fence. Seymour looking to get to second, and he's in there with a leadoff stand-up double for the Mariners, and that puts a runner in scoring position with Mike Ludwig coming to the plate.
Well, a lot of work to do, but if you're going to start a rally, that would be the way to do it. Runner in scoring position here. Team still trailing by 6, but big opportunities coming up here.
Yeah, that's just the 2nd hit of the game for the Mariners. The first extra base hit. So here's Ludwig, who's got the other hit back in the 4th inning on a bunt. And he has a slight check swing on the first pitch. It's on the outside corner for strike 1. Ludwig was in right for the first game, now the designated hitter. Seymour on second. Nobody out. And that one will just miss low. Got a couple of guys throwing right now in the pen out in Hyannis's end. Looks like 3 guys warming up right now.
Well, you never know who you're going to want, I guess, but just in case they need to put out a fire, the whole department's ready.
Crisp's 1-1 is grounded to first, taking it himself will be Carlson, and he tags first for out number 1. Moving up to third in the process is Bobby Seymour. So now an RBI spot for Pat Winkle, who's 0 for 2. Flew out to center in the second and grounded into a force out at short back in the fourth. And Winkle, not wasting any time, swings at the first pitch, hits this ball to short. The run will score, but out number 2 as making the play was Lofton. So Seymour comes around to score the second run of the game, and it is now 7-2, Hyannis leading.
A lot of numbers being changed around. Winkle changing up from 37 to 5. A couple other guys mixing up as well, but the final out represented here by Cam Thompson. Final hope, I should say. 0 for 2 today.
Chris from the windup, and he misses inside with a curveball. Back to the windup is Crisp, and this time off speed's in there for strike 1. Cam Thompson 0 for 2 in game number 2. He's late on a fastball to fall behind 1-2 in the Mariners down to their last strike. And in a more positive note for Hyannis, they are 1 strike away from their first victory of the season. Crisp with the 1-2. That'll miss high. Jacob Hurtaby's on deck should he get an opportunity. From the windup again, Crisp. Just misses outside, so Thompson doing a great job of working the count, and it's now full 3-2.
Yep, trying desperately to keep this game going. His team now down by 5, but down to the last out.
3-2 is sent out towards center field, and it is in for a base hit. So the Mariners not going down without a fight, as Cam Thompson, with his first hit of the game, he's now 1 for 3, and that will bring up Jacob Hurtaby's with an opportunity to keep the line moving.
Yep, Hurtaby's today is 0 for 1 with a strikeout, but did reach on a hit by pitch. Was able to work his way around to third and come in to score on an RBI ground out from Joey Weimer.
He actually was able to influence a balk while he was at second base to get to third, and then Weimer was able to drive him in. Crisp's first pitch is in there for a called strike. Thompson with a decent lead off first. Conservative coverage of the bag by Carlson. The 0-1. That's outside.
Just trying to close this one out. It's got to feel like a long time coming here out of a Hyannis squad that, again, 0-8-1. But a lot of run support for them today, and finally the pitching coming together as well.
Crisp fires one in there for strike 2, so once again, 1 strike away, and I'm sure Crisp wants to get Hurtaby's out so he doesn't have to flip the lineup over again and face Weimer, who sits on deck. Thompson on first, a 1-2 count with 2 away in the top of the 7th. Here it is. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and the Hyannis Harbor Hawks have their first victory of the season as them and the Harwich Mariners split the doubleheader, but the Harbor Hawks come away victorious in game number 2 with a final score of 7-2. We're going to take a quick break and bring it back to wrap things up here following the doubleheader from Hyannis. You're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. back here one last time after a long day of baseball from Hyannis Harbor, as the Harbor Hawks of Hyannis getting the victory 7-2 over Harwich in game number 2. So that means both teams splitting the two-game series here in the doubleheader on a Sunday afternoon. And Tyler, it seems like the Bats have finally woken up for Hyannis after a really, really tough first game, which saw their manager get ejected. What do you think really changed in this one for the Harbor Hawks?
I mean, at the end of the day, I think it was just came down to the starting pitching. You go from Logan Allen to Evan Schauber, who had a good performance, but not used to being in that starting role, at least not here this season so far. So they're able to get to him early and bounce out to an early 5-0 lead. And I mean, from then it just kind of turned into, a good performance out of Blake Espinal, but the one hit that he gave up was a 2-run bomb, and by then it was just a little bit too much to get back. So nothing to be concerned about. It was one of those things where Hyannis was going to win a game sooner or later, and it's good that they get a split here as opposed to taking both from Harwich. And for Harwich, right back to 500, a little bit more work to do. But at the end of the day, not a bad position to be in, especially considering that Brewster took a couple of losses today as well.
So the win in this one going to Sam Thorson, who lost his first appearance, but a strong performance in his next one as he went 5 innings, giving up just a run on 1 hit. It was an earned run. Walked 2 and struck out 7 in the winning effort. The loss goes to Evan Schauber. He drops to 1-1 on the season. 2 2/3 for Schauber, giving up 7 hits, 5 runs, all earned, and he walked 1 while striking out 2. No save in this one, and Hyannis with 7 runs on 9 hits, 1 error committed. They leave on 4. Harwich 2 runs on just 3 hits, no errors committed. And they left 4 on base. So Harwich falling to 6-6 on the season, while Hyannis improves to 1-8-1. Harwich Mariners will next be in action with another doubleheader on Tuesday as they will head to Yarmouth to take on the YD Red Sox at DY High School. A lot of Y's and D's involved in that one. But once again, for all of us here with the Harwich Mariners broadcast team, with our producer Matt Lucy, alongside my broadcast partner Tyler Henry, I'm Colin Casey, and thank you for joining us on another great afternoon of baseball here in the CCBL. And we will see you on Tuesday when the Mariners take on the Harwich, or excuse me, they can't play themselves. They will take on the YD Red Sox. So for all of us here, once again, I'm Colin Casey. So long, everybody, and